All right, so here we are today. It's interesting because this is the basically the premiere of the new base. I'm going to go ahead and record this video now. Kind of give you guys a little look at the new base that Stars built and I farmed everything for. So, all right, here we are. We're in Ark. Let's make sure we are in the right window here. Yep. All right, so this base is located down here on the southeastern corner of the Crystal Isles, around 7583-ish. And we, of course, have gotten things set up. We've got the teleporter here, which is right along the beach line. So here's our beach line. We'll go ahead and swing down here real quick. Just want to make sure the Giga is still alive. All right, so there's the Giga. And as soon as it reses in, this is our water pen. If it reses in, because it's technically right beside me. Sort of. Maybe if I fly out here, it'll come in. There it goes. Alright, so we'll start with the water pen, and then we'll go over to the greenhouse, and I'll show you guys all that. So the water pen, of course, is for raising water dinos. Got some defenses here for, things that might wander up the path. But water pen's pretty simple. If you look down there, well, it's hard to see because of, clearly the build hasn't rezzed all the way in, but this is completely boxed in. And basically what you're going to find down here is nothing. If there's anything in here, I'd be surprised, but once in a while a piranha might slip in or something, but I usually have a bassie or something might aggro down here. But this is where we raise our water dinos at. And of course, we've got our generator, which looks like it's still got element in it. Yep. And of course a trough for fish or whatever we're going to put in there. I may end up putting another trough in here. I haven't decided yet. But basically this will fit Tusos, it'll fit Mosas, it'll fit Bassies, and of course the anglers and everything else. I'm going to try to get some Tusos raised and maybe a couple of donkeys. I need to find a mate for a donkey. But I'm hoping to just kind of mate with one and then not have to go through the trouble of taming one. I haven't seen very many on this map. I've seen a lot of Tusos though and a lot of sharks. So, but that's the water pen. It's pretty cool. I'm going to drop this gamma down a little bit. It's awful bright on my screen. But that I built. That was all me. And yeah, it was fun because I was getting eaten by leeches and piranha the whole time I was doing that. Stars built this wonderful stairway down. There is a little gap in between where it goes into a hollow area. So we decided to put a stairway all the way across. It's a tech stairway. Everything in the crafting room / house is all tech, including the stairway. Yeah, believe me, on Crystal Isle, yeah, that was not fun. But here we got the actual crafting room, which we'll get more in depth in a minute. Got some defenses and some plants, and it's an interesting build. It looks really good. It feels like home this time, which is, remains to be seen. But we'll go back to that in a minute. Let's come over here to the greenhouse. A lot of people ask me about the greenhouse. They're like, well, how do you build a decent greenhouse? And what if I want to make a small one? And I recommend not making the small one. The problem is that sometimes you got to fiddle around with it if you're not careful. But let's come on in here, and I'll just kind of walk you through what we do here. All right, so in here we've got a tech generator. We've got a trough set up with meat. And then we've got about 18 dinos in here. The dinons, basically you just leave them on breed, and as they drop eggs, you just pick them up, put them in your egg bin. Gotta watch out for the windshield wiper tails. We call them windshield wipers on Valguero. But yeah, you just come up here, collect up your eggs, and as they breed, they'll just keep on dropping them down, and you just keep picking them up and just putting them away. Like we've got just since we've moved over here, we've got almost enough to make 3 full refrigerators of kibble. Of course, we're lagging now, so as soon as this will let me. Oh, I hate this part. Alright. There's the 80, there's the 54. Just plug those eggs in there like so. And Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, but then we got, where the kibble eggs are going to come down. Now, for those of you that don't know, Dynons can produce, when their eggs drop, can produce the extraordinary kibble. There is absolutely no reason when the transfers are open on a map not to go get these Dynons, set them up. They take up a lot less space than anything else does, and they just non-stop drop eggs. 2 days and I'll have a good 20 or so eggs sitting here just waiting for me. And they don't spoil at any given time. I didn't know if you saw the spoil timers when I was looking at them, but yeah, it takes a long time for those to spoil. But then again, we got the cooker here, which this is where we make all our kibble at. And I always keep a stimulant and a sap container in here. Very important. Now, you're going to want bees. Now, you don't need them on Crystal Isle, but I recommend you get them. So, yeah, get bees. It'll help. Because there will be times that you're going to have to make quick runs to, get all kinds of resources and things. Let's make sure I got my helmet on here. I do. All right, so come on in here. You got plenty of honey in there. Yep, we're good. Definitely want to get plenty of hives. We're going to get 4 more and put them on the other side or somewhere around here. Then, of course, as you can see, there's plumbing, and then there's also electricity running through the place. Very important. Keep your fridges powered and all that stuff. But, yeah, we keep it kind of hidden underneath the base, not necessarily from players, but because a lot of times dinos will kind of crawl under the base, depending on if you're on pillars or not. We build on pillars specifically because the ground just isn't even in a lot of spots, and it's hard to get foundations in, and then you have to substitute a ceiling and a pillar anyways, so it just makes more sense just to go ahead and build on pillars to start with. But we got water sources running all through it, as you can see. The helmet. They really need to make it so it's not the E key for this. Alright, so this is our greenhouse. I'm going to turn the gamma up a little bit. It's getting dark. We got Mijos. We got a lot of Mijos. These sections here and the sections to my right are all Mijos. We've got our dedicated storage for seeds. And then, of course, we've got the different crops over here and more seeds on each side. So we got our narco berries. We got stem, azul, amar, tinto, rock carrots, citronal, sava root, and of course long grass. Now, people ask me all the time why I've got so many of one and then not enough of another, and it's real simple. I mean, I based everything that I laid down here on what we use the most of. So the only difference is that I didn't put an extra line of citronal in here, and the regular plants like the tinto berries and stuff, it's not that you need them, because technically you could just do all like the regular crops like the corn and the oranges and stuff like that, and just skip all the actual berries. You could do that, but for sake of making the layout of the greenhouse look good, I went ahead and just did it all. Now you're going to notice this particular layout only works partially. I mean, you'll get between 200 and 300%. Most of these are 300%, but the taps, for some reason, for some insane reason, sometimes block the sunlight to the actual crop plot, and some things grow a little shorter than others, or a little slower than others, but these are all 300%, I think, yeah. But this one right here might be a little lower. One of these is, at least. So I know I saw one that was nerfed here. 300, 300, 300, 300, 300, 300. All right. 300, 300. That's weird. I ran across a couple that were only 200 a little while ago. Not sure why it's now fine, but yeah, whatever. But, it's Ark. But, we got more seeds here. But this is the layout that we use. It's very convenient because you can grab your crops, zip right across, toss them in the cooker, and then, get right to work. Just snatch your honey up and then go ahead and take care of business. I have this many fridges for eggs, and then I have one for, cooked meat. And then, of course, meat for the Dynons as well. So if they need anything, right now it's got extra eggs in it because I didn't know what to do with them. But let me see here. I think those are actually not supposed to be in there. Yeah, those are my level 1 Rex eggs, so I'll take those out later. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. These right here for owl pellets, of course. You know, you definitely want owl pellets. That's the best fertilizer in the game for greenhouses. But I do have like a hatch. So if you look, well, let me see if I can get over there. Come on now. Got to get Wade moving. There is a hatch that goes up, and that goes up to the roof. And of course, this is usually where I park my skiff. I just put it right on up here. That way it's, you know, easily ready to go out if I need to. And yeah, that's about it for this one. There are defenses around the greenhouse just for wild dinos. We got plants on some of the corners. One right there. There's one in the back. The thing is, you got to remember about these is you got to keep fertilizing them. They'll run out of ammo otherwise, which kind of sucks. And then, of course, we got our Megachallon right here. Dopey's just here for rare flowers and mushrooms. But let's go on over to the bridge. We'll go over to the crafting room now, and I'll kind of go around it first. So let me see here. Now, Stars did a fantastic job on this. We've got our little Giga Taxidermy, and then we got our Phoenix, which is kind of our showcase. We've got a couple of them, but and then of course there's a Reaper over here. And then of course, you know, you can come around the side here and in the back, and then it's just plain old back. But this is all wired, and it's all got, you know, plumbing and the whole 9 yards. This is our pen that we're using at the moment. Probably going to expand upon this or somehow block it off a little differently, because these trees, for whatever reason, keep coming back. Even though you put a pillar down, you put, you know, something in the way, it's all coming back anyways. It broke one of the gates in the back, so I'm not sure what to do about all that. I can tell you that it's getting dark out here. Let's see, Game of 4. I can tell you that this particular area doesn't have a lot of berries. So if you're going to do a berry run, you almost just want to go up to the floating isles and just grab a mammoth and go, you know, stomp a few times, come back with a full pack of berries. Let's just check on him just to make sure he's doing okay. A lot of stuff still gets in these gates and he eats it, but I just want to make sure here. Yeah, he's still got meat on him. He's good. Makes me nervous. Come on, Wade. All right. But this is one of the pens where we're going to put the juveniles or the adolescent gigas. We're going to put a generator out here with some troughs and, well, possibly. To be honest with you, I don't know if we're going to do it or we're going to do it on the beach. You know, on one aspect, there's a lot of stuff that crawls around back there that could get into those gates and has gotten in those gates. But I'm almost thinking I might put them down here, or I might clear out the back here behind the barn itself. Now, this is the breeding barn. That's the stable area for the horses, the red thing. Then, of course, we've got that extruded place for featherlight, shine horns, and all that. And of course, you know, my gotcha rooms are extended out, hatchery. But I was thinking about maybe putting it out here or something, making a pen out here instead, along the wall, so I can box it all in and just raise them out back. We do have a back tech gate that comes out, so. But yeah, we'll see the barn in a minute. That's currently where the skiff is. What was that? Yeah. All right. So, anyways, let's go in from the front. So I'll just go ahead and park my RG out here in front of the building, and then we'll go in this way. All right. Let me off. Thank you. All right. You stay there. Don't move. All right. So welcome to our humble abode. There was a map there. I don't know what happened to it. But we've got our replicator in our replicator room. And of course, you know, the dedicated storage and all that. And it's all pretty conveniently located. Now, the reason we did it this way is because we do a lot of metal runs, so we wanted the metal as close as possible. And then, of course, you know, you want to be able to get over here without much effort. So I usually just put an element or something in my tech legs and just walk it over if I need to. But, you know, there's our element stuff. It's really low right now because most of it's been used. Matter of fact, I wonder what we got in here for element. Got one left in there. I got to go get element today. All right. Oh, yep, there's Stars. And her unicorn. So, yep, we got another forge over here because we usually like to run 2 forges because we usually come back with a lot, and I mean a lot of metal. We got our fabricator here. The reason I put it here is because I usually keep my biotoxin and shock darts refrigerated right next to it because you make them in here and then you just toss them in here. So that it helps a lot. This is a grinder vault, so if we get extra loot, we just chunk it right on into the grinder, grind it down, take the metal or whatever resources we want. Of course, we've got our crafting tables, which I mostly use just for fixing my hatchets and stuff for going out and farming element. Then we got our kitchen over here. Oh, unicorn. Got a couple extra fridges. It just depends on what you want to put in there, like mushrooms, rare flowers, brews, soups, bug repellent. And I'm not sure what we're putting in the other ones, but we got burgers and stuff as well. Always put an extra cooking pot next to your grill too. This is good for like events. And you don't have to use this cooking pot for anything other than that, really. You can use the industrial cooker or one of these industrial grills to cook most of your stuff. And of course, you got storage for burgers and drinks and stuff like that. Matter of fact, that one got mislabeled. That is supposed to be burgers. Then we got our chem benches and our stuff set up for this: narcotics, spark powder, and more propellant. Not sure what that's actually for, but it looked good, so it's there. But this is our kitchen. Pretty happy with it, actually. This is our vault storage. This is where I hold on to all the BPs. I like to keep one of every BP. This is the miscellaneous stuff. So like the primitive BPs, I try to keep them labeled and classified. Like base defense, you got turrets and C4 and narc traps and all that stuff. And of course you got your your tech armor BPs and stuff like that. I like to keep the structure stuff in particular because a lot of times you don't want to waste all your engrams. So I'm always looking for extra structure stuff. Crafting stations, we've got the table, we've got the fabricator, cooking pot, and of course the gas collector, which is handy on this map. And then of course your apprentice and journeyman. I don't keep ramshackle BPs ever. There's no point in keeping them. But sometimes you can get lucky and one of your apprentice or journeyman BPs will be higher than normal and you can get less resources to use it and all that. Then mastercraft and ascendant. Then we got our saddles. We've got a lot of saddles in there right now. We used to have twice as many, but I went through and pretty much took about half of them out and threw them away. We got our armor. Yeah, so we got tech armor. We got the flak, ascendant stuff in there. We got our weapons and tools, and of course pre-mades. We keep a lot of pre-mades in case we want to build more tech stuff, or we want to do maybe metal stuff. Got refrigerators for the barn that I have to place later. Stuff like that. This is pretty cool up here. I like this a lot. This is our dining room. So we sit down, chill out, look out the window. So right now it's dark outside, so you can't see nothing, but yeah. And then, of course, we've got our little bedrooms. Like she's got a little box next to hers, and I got a little box next to mine. We don't have a crafter bed in here. He sleeps in the teleporter room. And, of course, Stars' stuff and my stuff. So this is our crafting room. This was a labor of love. We both busted our humps to get this thing built, man, because like I said, every bit of element you see in here is from farming on Crystal Isle. So that should tell you something right there. That was a monumental effort, one that I just can't believe we managed to pull it off. This is our snail pens. We keep about 18 snails out. And those snails produce the paste that we're looking for in the poly. So we got them regenerating right now. Now with snails, just so you know, if you haven't ever done this, you have to feed them veggie cakes. And you also have to, they have to be weighted down. You see how I got black pearls on these guys, right? It's so they don't move around. Because once you start feeding them, you have to pull it off of there. Then you put the veggie cakes on. And as soon as they're done eating, you put the pearls back on and put them back where they were. It makes it a lot easier to get in here. You can just hop in, feed them all, grab everything you want, and then hop back out. When they're moving around, it's really hard to do that. And then we got, of course, the storage for those snails. And, of course, more snails over here. And then our transmitter, which is really cool. I like this. It looks good where it's at, too. I mean, it really looks epic in here. So, yeah. But this is the crafting room. Stars built this one. It looks really good. Very happy with it. Very satisfied. All right, so let's go ahead and she's just hanging around on that unicorn. That's funny. Whoa, big lag. All right, so let's come on over here. And we'll do this. Let's grab Wade Wilson. He's a red and black RG, so I named him after Deadpool. This is the barn, where we do the giga raising, where we're going to do all our raising pretty much. This place is epic. Now, we have a lot of dinos, and we haven't sorted through them all to get them all. Now, granted, not every one of these is filled up. They're mostly in the bottom row of everything right now. And then, of course, we're going to alphabetize and set them all up correctly. But this is our dino room with our cryo fridges. And you'll notice there are not a whole lot of wires sticking out anywhere. We have them pretty well hidden. Now, somebody's going to ask this eventually. And they're going to ask why we have so many tech generators and troughs in here. This is actually not as many troughs as we're going to have. We're going to have 4 more around each one of these. Because really what it boils down to is we've read on Genesis with 8 troughs in our barn. And it was just enough to do a group of about 40 gigas before it became overwhelming. And then we had to move them out and move them all over the place. So in order to feed everybody and to keep everybody going. Then we had to make meat runs like twice a day, which really sucked. But this is kind of what we do with that. You know, we space them out. We have them all grid lined so everything overlaps each other. So everything on this side of the room can eat meat. On the other side, that's all veggies. So it's, you know, like your Ankies and your Doties and stuff like that are all over there, and horses. But that's basically how that works. I'll come around and I'll show you the rest because the last part is the one I really want to show you guys. It's pretty cool. Now, always keep a vault, maybe even 2. I only keep a vault usually because the fact is you're going to be standing here farming these gotchas. You really, really don't need to have a second vault for gotcha crystals unless it's organic poly that you're storing. But I don't even store the organic poly. I mean, on this map, just grab a Magmasaur, go out and get your food or your poly and stuff. I'm gonna starve if I'm not careful. But these are element gotchas set up with 4 owls above on a roost. You can't really see it real well, but these guys are all on ignore group whistle. They're all on passive. And all it does is the owls just, puke their pellets. The gotchas pick them up. And you have a non-stop supply of pellets. And then you can just start feeding them seeds. So you dump a bunch of seeds in here. And voila, you got yourself gotchas producing. And of course, it's the same way on their side. Now, keep in mind, gotchas have to be 13 foundations away from each other. So you're going to need something like that. See, Stars is over here right now checking them all out. It's very important that you remember that. You can't have them any closer or they get unhappy and they won't produce or they'll barely produce. This is our baby room and / Proco room. Everything right on the floor is A seed so that we can drop eggs anywhere on here and just hatch them. But the Procos are a good thing because you want to have Procos in your hatching room simply because if you get whatever animal that you're birthing, if it's supported to go into a pouch, you want it in a pouch because it gives you a better imprint. And less food consumption, very important. And of course, we got all our babies in fridges for eggs and things like that. We're going to hatch, so that's basically what. These are all like super full of babies. So yeah, we have a lot of babies to go through here. So, so yeah, we've been holding off on that. Hopefully, I don't pass out before I can show you the rest of this. The Iguanodon, another important addition to any barn, because when we get dedicated storage in here for seeds, we're going to want Tinto Berry seeds, because that's the one that they get the most of. So you go out, you get Tinto Berries, nothing but Tinto Berries, feed them into the Iguanodon, he converts them to seeds, and then you put them in dedicated storage to feed your gotchas. So, very important. There's the Shinehorn room. We've got a Featherlight up here already. But you definitely want to make sure if you're doing light pets you have a room like this, because when they birth, sometimes they'll just go running off, man, the minute they pop out. And you'll be chasing them all over the place. It's a horse pen. A couple of Thylacutes out here raising. Now there's 2 veggies and 1 meat trough in here because she does have a couple of things that require meat. And now for the feature, the thing that I like the most out of this whole build. As soon as I get the stupid tech helmet, you know what? I've had enough of that. Alright. So this is the horse barn. Now she's got her horses and her unicorns in here. And light pets. And of course, an extra fridge for whatever else she may want in here. But this is gorgeous. I love this barn. Yep. Absolutely love it. So she's got plenty of room to raise her horses, and that's her favorite thing to do is the horses and light pets. So, but yeah, really good job on that. Of course, she knows this. I've been giving her praises a long time on this one because, yeah, I really love this barn. But that is basically the new base. That's what we're doing. Now, my plans right now are to basically, I'm not touching the babies until event time, but I got to get all these cryo fridges sorted, alphabetized, get everything that we actually raise into these fridges. And then, of course, anything that we don't have, I'm going to start collecting up so I can get a couple of lines started on those and get those filled up. But, yeah, this is the new base. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions about the build or why things are the way they are, let us know. Definitely don't mind answering any questions on it, but I hope you enjoy.
Welcome to Knee Jerk.